Hello everyone, and we are back for the second week of our Let's Talk About Overwatch video segment where we talk about Overwatch. I am joined once again from New York by Cecilia D'Anistasio and from San Francisco by Nathan Grayson. Hello to both of you. How are you both doing?
Pretty good.
Great. How are you?
I'm great. Okay, so I have a question for you both. This week we're going to be talking about negative things, fear and loathing in Overwatch. And my first question for you both, Cecilia, I'll ask you this first. Do you watch your kill cams after you get killed in Overwatch?
Absolutely not.
You don't? Why not?
It's just embarrassing a lot of the time. It's really embarrassing. I mean, sometimes I do when I'm in the mode where I really want to learn from my mistakes, but a lot of the time I'm not in that mood.
I hear you. Nathan, do you watch your kill cams?
So I feel like anytime that I'm playing Overwatch, I'm playing in one of two different modes. And it's either having a fantastic time or having the worst time of my whole entire life.
Yeah, I hear that.
So in both of these cases, I watch my kill cam, but the reaction is very different. When I'm having a good time, I'm like, oh man, yeah, they got me with a really good one. You know, they ruined my streak, but I was on like a 10 kill streak, so I feel fine about it. Like, there's something to learn from there. But then when I'm mad, it's just like, that, they don't deserve that. Nobody deserves anything that they're getting on me. This whole game's horrible. This match is horrible. My team is horrible. Like, and yeah, I think I told you guys when we weren't recording last week, I play with a push to talk enabled, because if I just had my mic going, people would hear me screaming for entire matches.
I play with push to talk, but because people would hear my air conditioner for entire matches, but also because I would be yelling. Yeah, I have definitely found that I skip all of my kill cams now. I just am not interested unless it was something really weird and I really need to see what happened. I skip it. I think that it's nice that it's the jump button is what skips the kill cam, because that's your spacebar on PC, which is the easiest button to just sort of frustratedly kind of tap a few times after you die. I played a lot of this game on PS4 before I switched to PC, and with a controller, you can remap your buttons. So I would remap the jump button to like the left shoulder button a lot, which works really well, just because it's the bumper jumper way of doing it and you can kind of control better. But I didn't realize the jump button was the only one that let you skip the kill cam. So there was a period of time where I would sit there mashing the buttons on the controller and not realize that I was, that I could still skip the kill cam. I thought the game was basically forcing me to watch my own humiliation, which was a bummer.
I thought the same thing when I was playing on Xbox.
Why can't I skip this? What is this game making me watch? So today we're talking a little bit about negativity and trolling and annoyance in Overwatch, which can be a very annoying game. Nathan, something you just said stuck with me, that I have been finding, especially lately, that every game I've been in has been either extremely fun and we've basically, because we've won, like I am having fun because we're winning and we beat the crap out of the other team, or extremely frustrating and we just cannot get it purchased and we lose and I get, more and more dispirited. And it seemed much more one or the other than it used to seem. Cecilia, do you feel that way at all when you're playing lately?
I'm surprised to hear you saying this, because I thought I was the only one having that experience. But yeah, I've been feeling very much that way. The losses have been a lot more devastating. I feel like over the last few months I had a lot more average games, and now a lot of my games are just awful or really exceptional.
Yeah, I feel similarly. I'll look back at my play over the game and just say, wow, I crushed that whole game and our team just won. Or just, wow, I could not get a kill to save my life or help my team, which is a drag.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of the thing is, like, once you've been playing for a little while, Overwatch is a game where you can become pretty well attuned with the rhythm of matches. And so, like, you'll have a match where within the first minute or so, the other team takes the first point when you're, like, on defense, and you're just like, oh, this game is not going to go well. Like, it's already a foregone conclusion that we're probably going to lose. Maybe we'll have a big comeback at the, like, second or third point because it's more defensible, but, like, probably my team is crappy, we're going to do crappy. And, like, for me, then I get really in my own head and I'm demoralized and I don't play as well. Like, my aim gets markedly worse and I'm just like, oh, man, I don't even want to be playing this anymore.
It is easy to get psyched out. We had a match last week where there were 2 Genjis on the other team, which already is extremely annoying. And there just came a point where I just felt like I was throwing in the towel, and I just wasn't even trying, because every time I saw a Genji, I just couldn't kill him, and then some other Genji would come and kill me from behind, and it was so annoying. And I remember they finished, and one of the Genjis dropped an easy in chat, which just made me angry and was really effective. And I feel like I've been seeing more sort of poor sportsmanship from winners in particular in chat lately as well. I don't know if you guys have been seeing anything like that too.
Yeah, a little bit. I've also seen poor sportsmanship from my own team. I had a player last week who was sitting there like as we were doing poorly, and he was the only person in voice chat for this match. And he was on there being like, hey guys, maybe you should try pushing the point. You know, that's how you actually win the game. And then like toward the end, when we were actually doing really well, and it like had become this phenomenal team fight where like we were defending the point really well, and they were pushing it really hard, but we kept staving them off at the last possible second before they took it. And it was like, what if you guys just tried killing people? And I was just like, ugh, like, I wanted to reach through the internet and strangle him. I wanted to wrap the internet around him and strangle him with it.
You know, along those lines, I think I've found myself becoming a lot more outspoken the more comfortable I am with the game when something just is not right on my team. So last week I had 2 Bastions on my team, and then I had 2 Reapers in the same game. And no one wants 2 Bastions and no one wants 2 Reapers, but all 4 of them were saying we need a healer.
Wow.
And I was like, of course this is happening, and I just went in so hard with the edgelord comments and with the Bastion remarks, and I must have derived some pleasure from that, but in retrospect, like, I shouldn't have gone in.
It's like a Pyrrhic victory, right?
Yeah.
You come away thinking nobody came out of this ahead. Nobody won.
But that's the kind of thing. We went into that game with that setup, and I just I could not bring myself to care.
Yeah,
about that game.
There are definitely times where my team is just a bunch of clowns, and you know, everyone's screwing around, sometimes in a fun way, if everybody decides to play Junkrat, and it's just really silly, and so we all just are doing that, and we know we're probably going to lose, but it's sort of fun. There can be a way where throwing the match in a way is fun.
You do that?
I've done it. It's not exactly throwing the match, but when I see 4 people have picked Junkrat, I say, sure, what the hell? Like, this will be stupid. This will be funny.
I leave those games. I leave those games immediately.
Oh, man.
Because I hate playing against them so much. It just makes me so angry. But maybe I should join in next time.
Well, sometimes I feel like it puts us at a disadvantage. There have been times, there was a game I played where we were all diva, and it was just stupid. We just steamrolled the other team, and I'm sure they could have countered us if they had gotten their act together, but it was just a pickup group, I think, and we were the worst, most annoying team ever, and I felt a little bad about that. But sometimes, if we're all playing Junkrat, for example, you can't, like, an all Junkrat team is not really that competitive.
Yeah.
And you'll be weird, and the other team will laugh, and the whole thing will be funny, and then they'll take the first point, and then everyone will start playing normal characters again, and you'll have a normal game.
I mean, like the other week I ended up in an all Tracer match. Like I had dropped into just a match, and like most of the people on the team were Tracer, so I was like, what the hell, I'll be Tracer too. And like none of us were good with her. Like it was remarkable. There was a point where 4 of us got taken out in the span of like 2 seconds.
It was like a bunch of people running into walls and
pretty much,
off the edge of the map.
But I feel like it's a different game at that point.
It's kind of the kind of thing that custom matches could lead to some really funny stuff, especially with good teams playing extremely weird custom matches. I feel like that's probably already happening, but it would be fun to go find some more things.
That's how
like that.
There was a rumor going around on, I think, Reddit that if you have 3 Annas, then you can perma-sleep somebody.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and no one, I hadn't really seen a video of anyone proving it, and so I created a custom match with a few friends, and we managed to get that to happen. And when you perma-sleep someone for a while, they just get kicked.
Right, you can get them kicked in the match. Speaking of trolling, that's probably the trolliest thing you can do to somebody in Overwatch. Here's the trolliest thing I can think of.
But it's not going to happen unless no one is going to kill those 3 Annas for like 5 minutes.
Right. It seems like an unlikely prospect to have happen in an actual match. So speaking of new characters, another thing I wanted to talk about this week is Sombra and the ARG that has been running related to this character, I guess, this mystery character in Overwatch that has been going on forever and ever and ever. Cecilia, you have been reporting on this quite a bit. Could you maybe run us down what is going on with the Sombra ARG? What is it and where is it at?
Sure. So the ARG started a few months ago with some developer update videos. One in particular was Anna's July developer update video. There was some static at the end of it that somehow, this kind of television static, that somehow this collective called the Game Detectives through a Discord chat interpreted into a QR code. That was a Sombra line, basically saying this ARG is about to get really hard right now. And at that point, the Game Detectives had about like maybe 1,000, 2,000 participants. But now, late August, they actually had to talk to Discord to expand their chat room because they had over 5,000 people on the last, trying to figure out the last mystery. It's gotten so in depth. They've gotten skulls out of base, 10,000, not actually, but just out of these crazy codes, and people are spending day and night just trying to figure out the clues with no end in sight. And they can be hidden in anything from, background little numbers scattered around maps or just in depth in the game's code.
So one question is, the character Sombra is believed to be a robot. What is Sombra exactly? What do we think?
She's supposed to be this hacker coder type, which is why the ARG is so developer coder heavy.
Okay. That makes sense. I saw some speculation that it might be like a stealth character. I'm excited to know more about this. Nathan, you did a post last week talking about how the community has sort of begun to run out of gas on this ARG, and people are sort of like, Cecilia, even the way you're describing it with no end in sight, it feels like, okay, we have thousands of people cracking all this code. Where is this going? I guess what was the sense that you got from that, Nathan, about where the community is at with this ARG?
Well, I mean, I think the breaking point for a lot of people came last week because they basically, Blizzard sort of kicked it into high gear with this post on the forum that seemed to be made by Sombra herself, and took people to this website where it was loading percentages, and people were like, well, this has got to be once we fill up this percentage thing, then she'll be revealed and we'll be done, and here's the light at the end of the tunnel. It seems like it's ticking up consistently, so hooray. And then it just stopped. And it stopped at a very low number, and everyone was like, are you serious? Really? And so that sort of took the steam out of it for a lot of people. They're just like, come on. And when that happened, I think a lot of people started seeing maybe some of the gears behind the whole machine. They were like, I mean, this whole ARG has kind of been a series of false starts, where it's now you have yet another really arbitrary thing to pick apart. Now we're going to lead you on this other sort of thing that feels a bit like a wild goose chase. And they were like, the structure of this is not actually that great of an ARG. It's kind of an annoying ARG. It doesn't feel rewarding.
But that being said, reward might not be the purpose of it for a lot of people. For some people, the experience of getting together with the community and just problem solving these insane puzzles is kind of the reward in itself.
Right.
It's interesting that it's sort of another way that Overwatch exists outside of the really sort of straightforward team shooter that it is. And how there's this fiction outside of the world, and there are all these things that people want to know about. In the comics, you can read with the backstory on this whole world that kind of has very little to do with actually just shooting at each other while escorting a payload. And the ARG feels like another step in that. It does seem like I'm sure Blizzard will do this again. This seems like the kind of thing they're really good at. And I would imagine they'll approach some things differently. And I've learned about it. It'll be interesting when they finally reveal the character to talk to them, which I'm sure one of us will do, to talk to them about sort of, what they learned and what the experience was and what they thought would happen versus what did happen. In the meantime, it's been interesting. I feel like part of the frustration around it is also, I think it's time. People are ready for something new. This game has been at a good, slightly slow rhythm with new additions, but it seems like, okay, we're getting a new map. Maybe we need a new character or a new mode or something more substantial, and people are just kind of ready for a new thing.
I'm kind of hoping that one thing that Sombra's ARG will do is be kind of a conduit for more information about other characters. Because in the last leg of the ARG, some information about Roadhog and Junkrat was kind of hinted at. So I'm kind of curious about where Blizzard will take that.
That seems like that could be a good way to do it, especially because you never know who's going to get their next big video that'll make us, care about Roadhog and not think he's a weird, like, snuff film protagonist or whatever.
I already care about Roadhog, I will have you know.
Yeah.
Oh, I
You
know,
just don't understand him.
like I do. He's a one-man apocalypse. I mean, he's
so
out
much
there
more.
on his own. He's so much more than that. Well, it will be interesting to see where the Sombra ARG winds up. Hopefully, it will wind up soon, and it will mean that we get an exciting, interesting new character to play as. I think that's about all the time we have for this week. This has been another fun chat. We're going to keep doing these, so we'll be back next Tuesday with another episode of Let's Talk Overwatch. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in.